Hello, travelers. Welcome to Reach the World. For over 20 years, Reach the World has used virtual exchange to inspire youth to become curious, confident, and compassionate global citizens. My name is Tim, and I'm so glad you're joining us for today's Meet the World event. The Meet the World program builds positive personal connections between students in the U.S. and global cultures, all through direct interactions with real people who are excited to share their countries and cultures with you. For a complete listing of upcoming Meet the World livestream events, you can visit athome.reachtheworld.org. Today, we're connecting with Madinakhon, a Fulbright foreign language teaching assistant from Khujand, Tajikistan. Madina is currently teaching remotely the Tajiki language at the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia, and she's joining us today from Tajikistan to talk about Tajik culture with a real focus today on weddings as just a great special time in any culture where you can celebrate and learn a lot about the customs of a particular culture. So before I turn things over to Madina, though, I want to welcome the teachers and students who are watching today's Meet the World live stream event. Please feel free to use the YouTube chat bar, probably on the right-hand side of your screen, to let us know you're here, where you're joining from, and of course, to share any questions with Madina as we go. I'll be happy to pass them along after her presentation. So we'll get to as many questions as we can in the next 30 minutes or so. And that's all I have to say. It's time to take a journey to Tajikistan. Madina, welcome to Reach the World.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for hosting me today. That's a great honor to be able to represent my country, the traditions and very unique tradition and old that my country has. I know being cultural ambassador as an honor and it's a great responsibility at the same time. You were right. I'm doing teaching remotely, unfortunately now, and I hope I can do it next semester. And I can share that very ancient and mixture of Uzbek, Iranian, and Turkish traditions and cultures of Tajikistan to other people around the world. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna talk about Tajik wedding traditions. That is very unique and old. Since there are 4 regions in Tajikistan, every region has its peculiarity in terms of celebrating weddings. So what we are going to do today, we're going to mostly focus on Sokt region, where Khujand city is located, about its traditions, the way the weddings are conducted in Khujand. So if you look at this picture, you see a very traditional woman, bride, and the groom. They are wearing a traditional dress that is full of patterns and a very traditional bride. And the guests should also wear national dress, like the one I'm wearing today. This is called Atlas. It was decorated, things and stones. With Tajik people like a lot of stones, decorations, and patterns. And in Khujand, we mostly also stick to European traditions of wearing white dresses. So this is kind of common to see a bride with white dress. And what is becoming very popular in Tajikistan, we are having friends of the bride who are also wearing the same dresses, the same color. This is kind of the element of European tradition that is transforming to Tajik tradition. What is very interesting about Tajik tradition, this is matching. How do we match and how do we do that courtship? There is one way we can do it. From a very first day of a child's birth, like the child is born, we match the bride and the groom, and we say, oh, this girl is going to marry that boy when they will grow up. So this is called Gahwara Bakhsh. If you look in the picture, we have the cradle the child sleeps like that, from that time we say that now this girl will marry that boy, or that boy will marry this girl when they will grow up. So this is one way we pick and select partners. The other way is very, very tradition. When they grow up, the matchers go to the bride's room and ask for her hand. And this is normally like visiting the parents of the bride for 5 or 6 times. And the last time they decided, all right, we are agreed to let our daughter marry that man, they should bring with themselves bread, a whole basket of bread. And very important thing is sugar in cubes, because we Tajik people believe that if we start everything with sweet, so life is going to be sweet and wonderful. So two very important things to bring for the mother of the boy as bread and sugar cubes. And also we add chocolates, different types of chocolates. So we have basket full of bread, which is called non. Then we have sugar, shakar, which comes from the Arabic word, and then we have chocolate. And if the girl's parents are agree to, they make plaf, they make oshi palo, that is the national food of Tajik people, and the side from the boy will understand that, all right, so they agree, so we're gonna have a wedding since we have oshi palo on the table. What we have here is a very traditional pot, then plate that is that has the element of cotton. Since Tajikistan is rich of cotton, a very traditional dish is decorated with cotton. So we use these dishes especially when we have holidays, when we have weddings, when we have special occasions. So we serve that national food on very national dish set. So since they come and see the oshi palo, the national food on the table, they know, all right, so we're gonna have wedding. This side agrees to let their daughter live with our son and have that traditional wedding, and to build a family. The next very important element of wedding is Suzani. Suzani is like a carpet that is decorated with hand. So sewing, usually women do that. And it takes, believe me, a very long time to complete it. And it's very hard work because you're going to have that pattern. Then it is all handmade. So we decorate house with Suzani. And it is very important for the bride side to have Suzani because we cover the head of the bride with that Suzani. Since we say that, all right, the matching is done, so let us talk about the wedding, the arranged wedding. And wedding consists of two parts. The first part is called Oshi Nahor, which means Osh, our national food, and Nahor means morning. So men usually gather, like 100 men gather in the house of the boy, and they serve Osh for everyone who comes as a guest to their house. After that, after we finish Oshi Nahor, people come, we celebrate, we have music, people dance, eat Oshi Palo. There is the Nikah tradition. Nikah tradition is based on Muslim religion. So mullah comes and they go through this very traditional Islamic nikah process. So after that, we may call it, yes, officially by Islam rules and regulations, they are husband and wife. All right. So when nikah procedure is done, usually the groom comes to take his bride, and he comes with his friends. A lot of friends come to the house. They serve dishes. They decorate the house. They lay the table, and this procedure is called jura domot. Jura means friend, and domot means groom. So the friend of the groom come to the house of the bride. They dance, they sing songs, they eat, and the groom goes and takes his bride. And they go to the hall where we reserve hall for a very for 5 hours. All right. So there we have a ceremony of wedding where we dance, we laugh, we listen to music, we congratulate the bride and the groom, which is arus vadomot in Tajiki. Okay, and you see this man playing. This is a very unique sound, which we say karnai. When you blow into that instrument, it produces sound, and the sound is very unique, believe me. And I think this tradition is common also in Uzbek tradition. So till the bride enters that hall of ceremony, all these people they play that music, and that music is very fantastic. All right, so we have like for 3, 4 hours, we have the wedding, we eat, we dance, we play, we take photos. Then there is time to come to the groom's house. See, that is the Suzani what I was talking about. It is very important for both groom and the bride to be invited to the house, like covering the head, because we know that this way angels will come with them and no devil eye will be upon them because we cover them from the devil eye. So before they enter, that is a very from Zardush tradition, we have the fire, and the bride and the groom make 3 times circle around the fire. This tradition is left from Zardushtri tradition, which was written in the old book of Avesta. We still follow this tradition. All right. So that is like the ceremony how it ends. And in the morning we have one more big event. Everyone knows that in that house we have a bride and everyone wants to see her and comes to see her. That part is called Kelin Salom. So Arus Salom or Kelin Salom. Very important. We cover again the face of the bride. Okay. She puts on her beautiful national dresses. She demonstrates them, and she greets everyone by like bowing 3 times, and she gives present to everyone. This is mostly important for kids because kids are excited to receive presents. So they receive cars, they receive dolls, they receive toys, and they see a wonderful bride, shining, wonderful bride. Very usually when the brides wear bright colors such as red, blue, orange, and this tradition is very important. All right, so this is the example. See a lot of people gathered, and she bows for everyone, and she gives presents. Everyone is excited to see her. She's excited to meet the new members of the family. Um, this is what happens right after the wedding the next day. And what is very interesting about this tradition, it happens early in the morning, like 7 o'clock in the morning. While this procedure is going on, Kelin Salom is going on, the family of bride arrives to her new house, and they bring a lot of oshipalo, with a big pot of full of oshipalo. And what do we do with that oshipalo? We serve that oshipalo to everyone. We send them to our neighbors and let you know that, see, we had wonderful wedding yesterday. Now we are done with the procedure of killing salom. Enjoy oshipalo. And hopefully you will also have those like this wonderful wedding. So we serve it to our relatives, friends. We send it to our neighbors. So a lot of people who are around us and close to us. And usually that pot is huge, full of rice, carrots, a lot of meat because we like to eat a lot of meat. We put eggs there, then we put lamb meat, we calf meat. We put a lot of meat, a lot of oil, and a lot of carrots because Tajik people like to eat oilless food. And oshipalo, we can eat oshipalo in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, 5 times a day. We like to eat oshipalo a lot. So meanwhile, when the Kenin Salom is going on, we have oshipalo, we serve it, we dance, we take pictures, we laugh, okay, we have fun, we enjoy the moment. And every time we are eating this oshipalo, we are having fun, the bride demonstrates her clothes. Usually she has a lot of golden stuff decorated with golden threads, and she has like a crown. Very important fact, she needs to cover her head, like you see here, like with the long scarf. And that scarf is decorated with a lot of stones, a lot of elements, emblems, and so on. So the bride now understands that she is in a new family. She needs to, because every family has different rules, regulations, traditions, and this is a little bit hard process for the girl. From different families, she enters the different family, and mostly the bride and the groom, they don't know each other. So this is the process when they just meet each other, get to know each other. And usually she stays at home for 7 days. She doesn't go out because she's a new bride. We say arusi now. And her relatives come to visit her. And every time they come, they bring a lot of food, different national food, a lot of food. Again, we sit together, we eat, and we share that food with our friends, with our neighbors. This is very interesting. So on the 5th day, we have Domo Talbon, when they start from the bride, invite the groom, and they have a small party. This is kind of meeting the groom and getting closer to him. Again, dancing, laughing, enjoying time. And Tajik culture is a lot of dancing. After that, after the 5th and 7th day, so it will be okay for the bride to go out, to continue her studies, to go to work. But those 5 days before Domo Talbon, it is very important to her for be inside the house. So that is about the Tajik culture. And that is about Tajik wedding. That is, we used to a lot of food, a lot of music, a lot of dancing, and a lot of jokes, playing. So it lasts 1 week, almost 1 week. We have a very long week of celebration. Then it finishes and everyone goes to their work, goes back to the old life and normal life.
Right, Medina, that's so fascinating. What a great overview of the wedding tradition in Tajikistan. I had a couple questions for you. I know you had a video you wanted to show that showed some music and some dancing, and it's just hard to send over this distance. So when we're finished here today, we're going to add a YouTube link to the recording of your event so that everyone who is curious, like I am, to see what dancing and traditional music sound like, you'll be able to click a link in this event in YouTube and get to see exactly what Madina is talking about. But my question for you was, before seeing that video, you talked about lots of dancing, and it seems like dancing is a big part of this custom. Can you describe the music and dancing just a little bit more, please?
So it's a very fast music, and you shake a lot your hands. It's a lot like with the hand and with the feet, like you know, you move a lot.
That's great. We'll have to all check out that video. I'm sorry we can't share it right now, but it sounds really cool. I am struck by how beautiful the national dresses and clothing are. Just so many colors, such unique patterns. It seems like that is has something tradition that's gone on for a very long time. Is there anything else you can tell us about the clothing in particular?
Particularly what I want to say about clothing, our national dress is atlas. It is made of cotton, so it's the dress you can wear in winter and spring and summer, and you will not feel hot, you will not feel cold since it's made of cotton. It's natural product. It has a lot of colors, like every atlas should have at least 4 or 5 colors. Usually they are bright colors, okay? And a very important thing about atlas, for some years we turned into more European dressing, like wearing shirts, trousers, you know, t-shirts. And what is very good about this period, the president of the country, Madinakhon, brought that tradition back to Tajikistan and said, hey, women, look, we have wonderful dress, full of colors, and it's naturally made product, so enjoy wearing that. And he made a lot of festivals. He started introducing that fabric again to the country and culture. Now everyone, even a girl who is 5 years old, she should have atlas dress at home in her wardrobe.
Very cool. I want to encourage all of our live stream viewers right now, if you have a question for Madina, we have about 7 more minutes that we're going to be talking with her. Please add it to the YouTube live stream. I would be happy to pass it along to her. I have lots of questions, but I want to give our students a chance to ask too. So just drop it in there and I'll pass it along. Madina, for people who may never have visited Tajikistan, where would you recommend a first-time visitor to your country? What should they go and visit to see some of the best aspects of your country?
Tajikistan is popular with its mountains, and most of the tourists, they enjoy hiking, they like camping, and we have in Pamir, we have very high peaks. They can enjoy going there. The nature is wonderful. So they can go to Shahristan, they can go to Pamir, which is very cold and mountainous place. But I'm sure most of the tourists enjoy it. And what is very good about Tajikistan, we have tasty fruits, so sweet, juicy, that you want to eat and eat again and again. So most of the tourists say you have wonderful vegetables and tasty fruits.
I am so hungry now after hearing your delicious descriptions. We have a question from the live stream audience that I wanted to pass along. Outside of weddings or very special events, do people still wear traditional clothing in the streets of Tajikistan? Is something people might wear on a non-special day?
Yeah. So we wear atlas on special days, and it's okay to wear atlas even to work when you walk outside. So yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Great. We have a couple more minutes. I want to ask you a little bit more about your Fulbright experience. I know that you're a Fulbright foreign language teaching assistant.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching language remotely, the Tajiki language remotely at the University of Georgia. What has that experience been like for you?
Oh, that is a very worthy experience. Even though this is I'm teaching remotely and online, I love my experience because I'm learning, I'm sharing my culture, I'm improving my teaching methods. I'm meeting a lot of new people, a lot of FLTAs from Indonesia, from Morocco. I'm sharing my culture. I'm learning for other cultures. That is very fantastic.
Oh, it's great. I really wish that you could be here in the United States with us. I hope that that happens soon, that you're free to come to Georgia and teach in person. I know your students probably would like that very much too. I would like to ask you one final question about Oshi Palau. You spoke a lot about it as a national dish, and you
Mm-hmm.
listed some of the ingredients that are familiar things to the United States audience: carrots, rice,
Mm-hmm. So we
different kinds
have
of meat.
carrots, we have rice, we have oil, we have a lot of meat. So what we do, how do we cook oshipala? First, we fry meat, then we fry carrots, then we pour water, we boil it a little bit, like for 30 minutes. Then we put rice and steam it, and then we have wonderful, oilless, and tasty oshipalo.
That sounds so good. I have to find that somewhere. I just have to have it now. I hope our viewers are experiencing the same sensation. We have another question from our live stream audience. The question is, and this is a great one for you because you have a particular interest in languages. And by the way, your English is phenomenal, just really very impressive. Can most Tajiki speakers understand Dari?
Yes, because Farsi Dari is very close to Tajiki, so we can understand like 80% of Dari language.
Okay, fantastic. Tell me, just as sort of a final thing here, tell me a little bit about your students in Georgia. They are studying Tajiki, are with a goal of coming to Tajikistan at some point, hopefully?
Most of my students are linguistic majors, so it is very interesting for them to learn languages. And most of them, they either learn Farsi, Dari, or Iranian language. So they look for cognates of the language, and it is very interesting for them.
Fantastic. Well, they're lucky to have you. We're so lucky to have you join us today. I'm really, really glad that you did. Thank you so much for telling us about Tajiki weddings in particular. I would like to just close by saying thank you again to our entire live audience for going on this journey with us today. Reach the World, we're going to be hosting a lot more of these over the coming months. I think someone's ready for you to be off.
Thank you so much for hosting me. Again, that is my honor to share my language, my culture with you, with people around the world who are learning, who are interested in culture.
Well, it's such a pleasure to meet you. For any of our live stream audience members who are interested in more events and meeting more people around the world, join us next time for our Meet the World live stream events. You can find a complete listing at athome.reachtheworld.org. So Madina, thank you. Have a great week, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.